The emergency descent is a maneuver designed to allow an aircraft to descend as rapidly as possible to a lower altitude or to the ground to make an emergency landing. During the emergency descent, you will be making a descending 90-degree turn, with the goal of quickly and safely losing as much altitude as possible, while maintaining a positive G-load, safe airspeed, and control of the aircraft. As with most other maneuvers, there are three main elements that you as a pilot should concentrate on: directional control, altitude control, and airspeed control. Before you begin the maneuver, it is important to find a visual reference 90 degrees from your starting heading. As you start the emergency descent, you will roll towards your reference point in a coordinated 30 to 45 degree bank. This bank angle will help you maintain a positive G-load on the airplane as you begin the descent. Once the initial turn is complete and the airplane is pointing towards your reference, begin a series of shallow S-turns in order to clear the area for traffic as you continue the descent. As you begin the level off, stop your turns and keep the airplane tracking towards your visual reference. Remember to use your rudder to maintain coordination through each turn in the maneuver. During the emergency descent, you will be losing altitude rapidly, so it is important to remain aware of your rate of descent and target altitude throughout the maneuver. As per the Cessna SOPM, the emergency descent should be terminated at or above 1,500 feet AGL. Also, in order to prevent cooling the engine too rapidly, you should not descend more than 2,000 feet during the emergency descent. As you begin the maneuver by reducing the power to idle and rolling the airplane, simultaneously apply forward pressure on the yoke to begin lowering the nose. As you continue the roll, lower the nose to a pitch attitude of approximately 12 to 15 degrees nose low to establish an indicated airspeed of 124 knots. As you approach your target altitude, begin leveling the airplane off when at 10% of your vertical speed above that altitude. For example, if you are descending at 3,000 feet per minute, you will have to begin raising the nose approximately 300 feet above your desired altitude. Slowly raise the nose towards a level pitch attitude. Be careful not to do so too quickly, since this could overstress the airframe or potentially induce an accelerated stall. As you reach your desired altitude, slowly begin to increase the power to your cruise setting and retrim the airplane for level flight. Your target speed during this maneuver should be 124 knots in smooth air. Depending upon the nature of the emergency and current conditions, you may need to adjust your speed. In the case of an engine fire, a high airspeed descent could blow out the fire, so you could potentially push the airplane up to VNE, never exceed speed. However, the weakening of the airplane structure is a major concern, and descent at low airspeed would place less stress on the airplane. In turbulent air, you may want to slow to maneuvering speed to prevent structural damage. Since you are descending at idle power, you will have to make small adjustments to your pitch attitude to maintain your airspeed. If you are too fast, raise the nose slightly to slow the airplane down. If you are too slow, lower the nose slightly to speed the airplane up. To begin this maneuver, select an altitude that will allow you to recover no lower than 1,500 feet AGL with a maximum descent of 2,000 feet. Before executing the maneuver, brief the crew and passengers. A proper briefing should include the following: seat belts on, seat backs upright, loose items secured, and that the maneuver will include an aggressive turn and to expect a rapid change in pressure. Also brief your passengers that if they experience sinus or inner ear discomfort, they should notify you immediately. After the briefing, complete 2 clearing turns and make a position report on the practice area frequency. Choose a visual reference point off of the wingtip, and be sure that there is a suitable emergency landing site in the direction of that reference. Simultaneously reduce the throttle to idle when rolling into a coordinated 30 to 45 degree bank turn in the direction of the visual reference point. As you roll into the turn, reduce elevator back pressure to allow the nose to lower for 124 knots indicated airspeed, which is approximately 12 to 15 degrees nose-down pitch. Begin to roll out on the visual reference point and make shallow S-turns to look for traffic below and ahead of the airplane. Continue to maintain 124 knots through the shallow S-turns. Approaching the target altitude, approximately 10% of your VSI above, level the wings and begin to smoothly increase elevator back pressure to start the level off. At the target altitude, adjust the pitch for level flight, set cruise power, trim as necessary, and complete a cruise checklist. Now that we've covered how to fly the maneuver, let's look at the end goals for your skills in an emergency descent. Some of the standards for the end-of-course check ride include: you must be able to identify situations such as depressurization, cockpit smoke, and/or fire that would require an emergency descent. You will need to establish the appropriate airspeed and configuration for the emergency descent. Exhibit orientation, division of attention, and proper planning. Maintain a positive load factor throughout the descent. Complete the appropriate checklists.